and occupancy mapping session with Ivan Harper. My name is Terry Tobias. The date today is May the 10th, 2013. This use and occupancy mapping session is taking place on the 5th day of a 5-day research design / training / hodgepodge grab all smorgasbord workshop. We're at the University of Manitoba in Winnipeg at St. John's College. We're in the Cross Common Room where the workshop has taken place. This workshop, this map biography session that is being videotaped with Ivan's permission, my permission, and it's for use for the member communities, the participants communities who are at this workshop to get copies of and use for to assist them in any way they want to use it in terms of their interviewing efforts for their community use and occupancy map surveys. Now, because the methodology is still in the development stage, there are some departures from the usual methodology for use and occupancy map surveying. We do not have a consent form. We do not have a resolution stipulating the mechanisms through which Ivan's information is going to be, the personal privacy of his information is going to be guarded. I trust that somewhere along the line those things are going to be put in place. As we've talked at this workshop, they're very important, but we don't have those in place right now. So this is unusual in that we're sort of working with the best we have. We have a mosaic of 1 to 50,000 NTS sheets on the table. We have 4 sheets on the table. We have the 53L7 sheet, the 53L2 sheet, the 53L6 sheet, and the 53... Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I give up, I don't know. The 53L3 sheet. Did I say that already? Okay, 4 sheets. And we're going to mark data on these off-the-shelf government topographic maps using a variety of pens. We're going to be using a red pen, a blue pen, green pen, and a black pen. As we were setting up for this interview, once the mosaic was on the table, Ivan marked in pencil. I trust these are some travel routes. So let's start, please, Ivan, with what's your date of birth?
July 30, 65.
July 30, 1965.
Yeah.
And where were you born?
Norway House.
Is Norway House on these maps?
No.
Okay. And what's your mom's name?
Mary
Mary what?
Harper.
And what was Mary's maiden name? What was her name last name before she was married?
Not. K-N-O-T-T.
Mary Knott. And your dad's name?
Elijah.
Elijah Harper?
Yes.
Not the Elijah Harper. The Elijah Harper?
No.
The other Elijah Harper. Okay.
Who's the Elijah Harper?
Okay, I give up. It's your dad. Okay. So we're going to start by marking some overnight sites. And these are, we're interested in marking places where you stayed out overnight on the land. It doesn't matter if you stayed overnight for 3 months or 2 weeks or a single night. If you stayed overnight, we're interested in marking those sites, okay? So I'm going to start with a question about log cabins. Are there any places you slept out overnight on any of these 4 map sheets in a log cabin, a cabin where the walls were made of logs?
Yes.
Could you show me the spots, please?
Right here.
Okay. Who owned that cabin? Whose cabin was that?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
Is that cabin abandoned or is it still used?
Still used.
Okay, I'm marking this LC1. Any other log cabins you ever stayed in overnight?
Yeah, right here.
Whose cabin was that?
It's our cabin. Anybody's cabin.
So it belongs to the community or your
Yeah.
family?
Yeah.
Your community cabin?
My cousins that come here.
Your cousins. Who built that cabin?
I did half of it,
Okay,
and I don't know who did the bottom part.
okay. LC2 we're talking about. Is that cabin abandoned or still used?
Still used.
Okay, any other cabins you stayed in overnight?
Yeah. Yeah, right here.
Who owns that cabin?
My brother,
Which brother?
Morris Knott,
Morris Knott, LC3. Is that cabin abandoned or still used?
still used.
Okay, LC3. Any other cabins, log cabins you ever slept in overnight?
Yes. Right here.
Who owns that cabin?
My uncle, Alec Knott,
Alec Knott,
yeah.
LC4. Abandoned or still used?
Abandoned.
This is abandoned, LC4. Any other log cabins you ever slept in overnight?
No.
Okay. Now, later on, we could be marking moose. If there was another log cabin that you suddenly remembered, we can add anything at
Yeah.
any time, okay? Places on these map sheets, you ever slept overnight in a plywood cabin, a frame cabin where the walls are made of plywood?
Yes.
Could you show me those spots, please?
Right here.
Who owns that cabin?
Percy Little.
Percy Little. This is PC5. Could you pass me my penny, please, my code piece? Thank you, PC5. Is that cabin abandoned or still used?
Still used.
Okay, any other cabins, plywood cabins you ever slept in overnight?
Yeah. Right here.
Who owns this cabin?
Chris Taylor.
Okay, that's PC6. Is it abandoned or still used?
Still used.
PC6, thank you. Any other plywood cabins you ever sleep in overnight?
No.
Okay, good. Ivan, have you ever, we're not talking about shooting here, but have you ever trapped or snared and killed beaver on these map sheets?
Yes.
Could you show me some of the spots, please?
Right here.
This is TB25. Okay,
Somewhere around this creek.
should I mark this one approximate then?
Yeah.
TB26 approximate.
And right here.
TB27.
Right here.
TB28.
Right here.
TB29.
Around about here.
When you say probably around, should I mark that approximate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. TB30 approximate. In knowing the areas where you set traps or snares for fur bearers, it can be any kind of traps, lake holds or coney bears or whatever, for any kind of fur bearer, but we're not including snaring rabbits, and we're not including snaring or trapping moose or bear. But any other fur bearer, mink, marten, anything, are there just the general areas? Can you show me the general areas where you've done trapping?
Right here.
Okay,
This creek.
okay. I'll use a different color for that. Justin, thank you very much. There? Okay, any others?
This creek.
Okay.
This creek.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. Okay. What's the furthest down this lake you ever set traps or snares for any kind of fur bearer?
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have this creek. Did you ever set traps or snares along the shore here? Or is it just these two creeks?
Just two creeks.
Okay, so these creeks, right?
Yeah.
What's the farthest up this creek, or is that it, or did you come up
Yeah,
this?
that's it.
That's it right there? Okay. And this whole creek?
Yeah.
And this whole creek?
Mm-hmm. Right up to here.
And this whole creek, and in here?
Yeah.
But not here?
No.
And not here?
No.
And not here? On the Beaver Hill Lake?
No.
Okay. And not down here, you said? Okay.
Right here too.
You trapped on that creek?
Yeah.
Did you ever trap and kill beaver there? I'm going to
No.
mark these
Okay.
creeks as areas that you trapped. Okay. You've been pretty specific here, so this should be pretty easy. I'm marking this TR31. I'm just going to say this for the record. We're just having to make, we don't have the appropriate set of fine Staedtler pens for this. So this is a bit challenging. We got a collection of various people's pens doing the best, but we don't have the proper pens, but these will do in a pinch, although this might make it a bit more difficult. For digitizers, and also these base maps are very poor. It's going to make it a bit difficult for these monotone base maps. So this is also, this one here is TR32. This creek here you trapped along. So we got that covered and that covered. And then we have this creek here. Is TR33. And then, Ivan, I'm going to put this creek here like this and up like this. Okay, that's pretty good?
Yes.
Okay. How's that look? Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna need to, this is gonna be,
Oh, there's a lake machine here.
yeah, these maps are far from perfect.
I used to walk here too.
For beaver?
No, just for the animals.
So you trapped in there,
Yeah.
like that? I'm going to ask you questions about a whole bunch of different kinds of animals, different birds, different mammals, different fish. And the important thing to remember is that for all of these questions, we're only interested in places where you personally killed animals and took some home to feed your family or your community. So for instance, if there were places where you killed animals only for commercial sale, we would not mark those places. Like commercial fishing, we wouldn't mark those places unless you took some of the fish home to feed your family. Or perhaps you guided for tourists. If you killed an animal for tourists, we wouldn't count that animal unless some of the meat came home to feed your family. If you lifted a net and all the fish were used for, like all the sucker were used for trapping bait or to feed your dogs and none went home to your family, we wouldn't mark that spot. If you killed an animal, like you shot the goose, you saw it drop out of the sky, but for some reason you couldn't find it to take home, we would not mark that spot. Only places where you killed animals and took some of the meat home to feed your family or your community. Not for commercial sale, not for peddling, not for barter, okay?
Okay.
So I'd like to start with, please, are there any places where you ever killed sturgeon to feed your family? Not for commercial, but to feed your family.
No, never seen a sturgeon.
Okay. Are there any places where you ever killed walleye to feed your family? Again,
Yes.
not for guiding, but to feed your family. Not for commercial.
Right here?
Okay, walleye?
Yeah.
This is WA 35. Any kind of specialty wood. A specialty wood is a wood where you know there's a particular kind of tree that's really good for making a tool or utensil. So you go out, you cut that kind of tree to get that kind of wood, and you use it to make some kind of tool or utensil, like maybe birch for snowshoe frames or axe handle or paddle, anything like that, tool or utensil.
On the reserve?
Okay, off this map sheet.
Yeah. And I guess around this shore here.
I can't mark, I guess.
Yeah.
For sure?
Yeah, for sure.
What did you use that wood for?
Making fish hooks.
Oh, like for Mariah?
Yeah, like getting
for-
fish out of the net.
Oh, right, I got it, yeah. Show me where, show me.
Handle and a hook at the end.
Okay, what kind of wood do you use for that?
Birch.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is SW 185. Good. All these sites we mapped so far are places where you personally did some activity on the land during your lifetime. These last few questions have to do with things, the sites, even if you didn't personally use the site, but you know for sure that a First Nation person used the site during your lifetime or your parents' lifetime or going back to your grandparents' lifetime, we want to mark it. Okay?
Yeah.
But we're not marking things that are ancient history. So the example I like to start with is burial sites. So not counting the cemetery in the reserve, which we don't have on the map anyway, are there any place out in the land on these map sheets that you know of where a First Nation person was buried during your grandparents' lifetime or parents' lifetime or during your lifetime? Any burial sites out on the land?
Right here.
Okay. How many people are buried there? Do you
I
know?
don't know, quite a few.
Okay. Now, were those people buried during your lifetime or before your lifetime?
Before my lifetime,
During your parents' lifetime or before theirs?
during their lifetime.
Okay. Do you know the names of the people buried there?
No.
Okay. So we're marking this. Are there any other kinds of cultural sites that we haven't mentioned so far that we should put on your map? This can be a whole bunch of different things. Examples might be treaty signing sites, rock paintings, old forts, trading posts, old massacre or battle sites, anything like that.
There's rock paintings on this rock. Like on this side is all a cliff, right?
Yep.
This side is flat.
Yeah.
So there's rock paintings approximately around here.
Approximately there.
Yeah.
So this is OC 209 approximate. Okay, good. Is that it? Excellent. Nicely done. I'm going to date and sign each of these maps, and I just want you to sign your name anywhere close to where I've signed and dated the maps. Okay. This is the end of a use and occupancy mapping session. The date today is May the 10th, 2013. My name is Terry Tobias. The session has taken place in the context is on day 5 of a last day of a 5-day workshop at the University of Manitoba. Kind of been a hybrid workshop, research design, lots of discussion about varying topics, some training. And right now, participants and staff of the workshop are signing the maps that we did and signed it on. Good. Nice job, Ivan.
Left.